Hello and welcome to my channel and my new video. And if you are into watch related content, please subscribe. So thank you. Today on a review and how-to tutorial video, I have the interesting running watch from Casio. Well, Casio occasionally drops interesting watches and this one is for sure one of them. As I've said, focus of this watch is its running orientation. It has dedicated buttons, complex memory and tracking system of your 60 lap times. Although all plastic and cheap looking, with fake screws on the watch face, it is pretty cool and good looking watch. And for the price of $40 US, the details, finish and the dial for sure are excellent. There are drawbacks for sure, like that button on the lower right side, and I don't know if it's just me, but the numbers on the dial seem to be elongated. Kinda out of proportion, but again, maybe it's just me. The illumination is not excellent, but it can go up to 3 seconds. All in all, sporty watch with cool sporty focus. And there's a cool trick to check your dial and its functionality by combining watch buttons. Buckle is corresponding its price range. Plastic and cheap looking, but it's okay, does its purpose. Bear in mind that this watch is 100 meters water resistant and has a battery life of 10 years. Just that alone is enough to prevail on all negatives. Now let's move on to tutorial part of this video. Before entering the settings menu, I'm gonna show you which features can you set before entering the menu. So from the standard timekeeping mode, you can set 12 or 24-hour time format by pressing this button over here. As you can see, when I press it, the A turns on the main display indicating that it's 9:47 a.m. So when I press this button, I'm basically shuffling between 12 or 24-hour time format. This is 24-hour time format. Also, you can mute the watch. That is done simply by pressing and holding this button over here until the watch indicates that the tones are off. And here we go, press and hold. And what is the indication? Well, we have it over here. That is crossed the note over here. As you can see, the melodies are turned off. Let me get back to standard timekeeping mode. As you can see, when I'm shuffling, there is no sound. To turn it back on, simply press and hold it again. And as you can see, it disappeared. So that means that now when I shuffle, the watch has the tones. Now let's enter the settings menu. Press and hold the adjust button, that is the upper left button, until you hear the beep. And here we go. We heard the beep, and as you can see, the seconds are flashing. Now you cannot set the exact value of seconds, but what you can do is reset that value simply by pressing the start stop button, and the watch will reset this value of seconds to 0. Whilst in the setting the seconds position, you can also change the illumination duration, and it's indicated over here, LT and 1 dot. 1 dot indicating that when I press the illumination button, the watch face will stay lit on for 1.5 seconds. When I press this button over here, lap reset, you can see that there are 3 dots on the upper digital display, indicating that when I press the light button, the watch face will stay illuminated for 3 seconds. So basically, by pressing the lap or reset button, I'm shuffling between illumination duration of 1.5 seconds and 3 seconds. So I'm gonna leave it at 1 second illumination duration. Once we finished it, I can press the mode button over here, and we move on to setting our DST or the daylight saving time mode. So you can shuffle the daylight saving time mode using the start stop button. As you can see, I'm shuffling between on or off by pressing the start stop button. That is the daylight saving time mode. In my time zone, daylight saving time is currently on, and I'm gonna leave it at on. Next up, press the mode button, and we move on to setting our hour value. It says it's 10 o'clock, but in my time zone, it's currently 14 o'clock. So I'm gonna press this button or this button to move the hour value. So increase or decrease by pressing this or this button over here. So let me get it to 14. Once I've set my hour value, I'm gonna press the mode button and we move on to setting our minutes value, which you can see is flashing. In my time zone, it's 14 o'clock and 46 minutes. And I'm gonna press the lap reset button to get it back to 46. Or you can press the start stop button to increase the value of minutes. So I'm gonna get it back to 46. Next up, press the mode button once again, and you enter the position of setting your year value. As you can see, it's blinking or flashing 2005, but currently it is 2022. I can press lap reset to decrease or start stop to increase the value of my year to 2022, and I can set it to 2022. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna press the mode button and we move on to setting our month value. As you can see, it's flashing number 5 and it's not correct. So currently it's October, so it should be number 10. So let's go. I'm gonna press the lap reset or start stop button until I get to number 10. And I've set my month value, but let's keep on going by pressing the mode button. Now we are in the position of setting our day value. Let me check what today is, October the 26th. And again, I'm gonna press the lap reset or start stop button to get it to my exact day value. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna press the mode button once again. And basically we have ran through the cycle of setting our time, date, year, and other features of the watch. To implement those settings, simply press the adjust button and the watch will now show the time that we have just set. The stopwatch mode on the WS1400. First of all, let's enter the stopwatch mode. From the standard timekeeping mode, press the mode button once and we are in the stopwatch mode. The stopwatch mode lets you measure the elapsed time, split time, lap time, and 2 finishes. Now the display range of the stopwatch is 99 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. Well, let me show you how to switch between the basics of the stopwatch mode. Over here you have your hours, you have your hours. This is the small zero is the hours, and these are the minutes, these are the seconds, and these are the 1/100th of a second units. These are F59. These are the remaining free records. One of the capabilities of this watch is to store your lap memories or your lap times. You can switch between the split time and lap time by pressing this button over here. This button over here, the lap or reset button. This is the dead button. So you have, as you can see, I'm shuffling between split time and lap time. The focus of this watch is the stopwatch mode, so it's going to be a complex thing to show you and describe to you, but let's get started. As you can see, this watch has the two main displays. Based on your measurements or your mode of the stopwatch, you can have the different type of data shown. When you're measuring your lap times, the upper display will show you the lap time and the lower display will show you the elapsed time. When you're measuring the split time, the upper display also shows the lap time and the lower one shows the elapsed time, while the split time appears over here for about 8 seconds as it's stored in the memory. How to measure the elapsed time? Well, we enter the stopwatch mode, as I've said previously, and now the distinctive thing about measuring the elapsed time is that you can use one or two screens. So both screens are okay to measure the elapsed time. When I say screens, I mean in the stopwatch mode, when I press the button, I'm shuffling between split screen, and the lap time screen. So either one of those will do the purpose when you are measuring your elapsed time. So in the stopwatch mode, simply press the start button and the watch will engage the stopwatch. Press the the stop button to stop it, and this button to reset the value. That's the basic of measuring your elapsed time on the stopwatch mode in this watch. How to measure the elapsed time with lap times. Now, in this case, you need to set your screen to your lap time screen. So I'm doing it by pressing this button whilst in this stopwatch mode. So when I press this button, as you can see, I'm shuffling between SPL and lap in the upper part of the screen. I'm gonna get it back to lap because I need to measure my lap times. Now, whilst there and all zeros are indicated on this screen, I can press this button over here to start my stopwatch. And whilst there, I can see that the stopwatch is running. Then I press this button over here and I have my lap number 1 indicated over here. After 8 seconds, the time will continue to be measured and shown. Again, I can press the same button to memory my lap number 2 with this time. Press this button to stop it, and this button to reset the value. Again, F51 marks how many places I have for my memory to store the lap values. How to measure elapsed time with split times. Again, we are in the stopwatch mode and we need to set our stopwatch screen to split time screen. So I'm pressing this button over here until I have the SPL over here. Now I'm gonna press the start button and the time starts to get measured. As you can see, both the lower and the upper screen show the same time. Now when I press this button, I have my split time shown over here. So split SPL number 1, that's the split time number 1, briefly shown over here. And now I have my time or the value of my first lap indicated on the upper screen. Again, press the same button. This is the split value number 2 shown on the lower part of the screen. And again, getting back to the main time or main measurement. Once you're done, stop the measurement and reset that value. Now all of these measurements have been saved in my watch's memory. The watch has the capacity of 60 logs or 60 entries. Each time when you press the start or stop button, the watch will enter that as a new log to your memory. How it works? Well, as I've said previously, the watch has 60 log entry data capability, but when you press the 60 start number for 61 times, it will automatically store it at place number 1 and so on. Recall mode. Well, you can use the recall mode to recall and delete logs and records you made with the stopwatch mode. Well, we are currently in the stopwatch mode, but to enter the recall mode, simply press the mode button once. Now, as you can see, it says that I'm in the log number 9. I can press the adjust button to shuffle between my values. As you can see, I'm shuffling between my log values. Let's say I want to check out my log number 8. I can press this button over here to see what are my split times. So this button over here or this button over here to check my time. So as you can see, I'm shuffling between my value from the log number 8 made on Wednesday the 26th of October. So when I press this button over here, as you can see, split time number 1 was 12 minutes and 900 of a seconds. Split time number 2, split time number 3. Again, back to the log number 8. when I press the adjust button, I'm at the measurement number 7. I press the start button and I see that this my first time, split time, was that was the value at over here. And basics, those are the basics of the recall memory when you want to show your logs. Now to delete the particular log, I can find it, let's say log number 5, and press and hold these two buttons at the same time. It will delete the log. And there it is deleted. Now, why it says number 5? Well, it says because the higher value of the log automatically took the place of number 5. As you can see, now there are 7 of them. Now, want to delete the last one. Again, press and hold these two buttons and the clear will show on the upper part of the screen. Let me show you how the countdown timer works on this watch. First of all, from the standard timekeeping mode, press the mode button once, twice, 3 times, and we are in the countdown timer mode. Over here we have the hour value, we have the minutes, and we have the seconds value. And this is your regular timekeeping. Now you can set the countdown timer within a range of 1 minute to 24 hours. Let me show you how to configure the countdown timer start and auto repeat seconds. So whilst in the countdown timer mode, press and hold the adjust button until you hear the beep. And as you can see, we have flashing of our hours value. Now, whilst over there, I can press this button or this button over here to increase or decrease the value of hours to be counted down. Once I'm done, I'm going to press the mode button again, and we are in the position of setting our minutes value. Again, pressing this button over here or this button over here will increase, or in this case, increase, and this will decrease it, the value of minutes to be counted down. Next up, press the mode button again, and we are in the position of shuffling between on or off. What is on or off? Well, that is our auto repeat. Is it on or off? To do that, I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna press this button over here, and it will shuffle between on or off. Is my auto repeat on or off? I'm gonna leave it at off. Once I'm done, I'm gonna press the adjust button once, and now my time has been set for my countdown timer. Now let's engage my countdown time by pressing the start button over here. Same button to stop it, and reset it by pressing this button. Those are the basics of the countdown timer. The alarm mode on the WS1400. Let's enter the alarm mode. Press the mode button once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and we are in the alarm in the alarm mode. Now, the alarm mode on this watch is a rather complex one, I would say. You have 3 alarms and the hourly time signal. Also, you have the snooze alarm. Snooze alarm is only dedicated to alarm number 1. So the number of alarm is indicated over here. When I press the start button, I'm shuffling between alarm number 2, 3, hourly time signal, and alarm number 1. As I've said, alarm number 1 is the only alarm that can snooze. So press the adjust button once, the alarm is turned on, and you can see it over here. Press it again, and it's a snooze alarm. When I press it again, I'm turning it off. To show that what I was saying, press the start button and move to alarm number 2. When I press this upper left button, I'm turning on the alarm. Pressing it again, I'm turning the alarm off. So the snooze alarm is only dedicated to alarm number 1. Hourly time signal is pressed or turned on simply by pressing the adjust button, and it's lit over here. Pressing the upper left button, it shuffles between on and off for hourly time signal. Let's get back to alarm number 1. As I've said previously, this watch has multiple alarm settings. You can set the daily alarm. you have to set the hour and minutes values for the alarm time. This type of setting causes the alarm to sound every day at the time you set. Then you have the date alarm. You set the month, day, hour, and minutes for the alarm type. This type of setting causes the alarm to sound at the specific time on the specific date you set. 1 month alarm, well, you set the month, hour, and minutes for the alarm type. This type of setting causes the alarm to sound every day at the time you set, only during the month you set. Then you have the monthly alarm. You have set the day, hour, and minutes for the alarm time. This type of setting causes the alarm to sound every month at the time you set. Now, as I've said, it's pretty complex to understand. But maybe the one you would use is your daily alarm. So that is the alarm when you set the hour minutes for the alarm type. As I've said previously, this type of setting causes the alarm to sound every day at the time you set. So let me show you how to set it. From the alarm, whilst in the alarm mode, press and hold the adjust button and you hear the beep. Now we are first in a row of settings is setting our hours value. I can decrease or increase by pressing one of those two buttons as I've said earlier. Let's say I want to set it exactly at 12 o'clock. Once I'm done, I'm going to press the mode button and we are in the position of setting our minutes value. Once there, I can again decrease or increase the value of minutes by pressing these two buttons and I'm going to leave it at 12 o'clock. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to press the mode button and I'm in the position of setting our my month value. I can press one of these two buttons and those are the settings for one of those 4 alarms that I have set previously. Next up, press the mode button again and I'm in the position of setting my day value. So you can see I'm shuffling between values of 1 to 31 and those are the specific alarm types. Now you don't have to set the values, the upper values, so leave it at all at these dots. So you have your alarm at every day at the, in this case, 12 o'clock. To implement the settings and activate the alarm number 1 to exactly 12 o'clock every day, press the adjust button and the alarm is turned on. To get it to be a snooze alarm, press the adjust button once again. As you can see, it's turned on. Now I have the alarm number 1 at 12 o'clock turned on and it is snooze alarm. To turn it off, press the adjust button once again and it's turned off. Well, those were the basics of the alarm mode. As I've said, it's pretty complex, but I believe this is the alarm you will use. The settings are the same for the alarm number 1, 2, and 3, but remember that only alarm number 1 is the snooze alarm. Dual time mode on this watch. Well, the dual time, first of all, let's enter the dual time. That's done by pressing the mode button once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and we are in the dual time mode. Over here you have your main time shown on the upper part of the screen. The dual time mode lets you keep track of a time in other time zone or the other time basically. How to set the values for your dual time? Well, whilst there, press and hold the adjust button until you hear the beep. And first in a row of settings is setting our daylight saving time value. As you can see, it's currently flashing off. When I press this button over here, I'm shuffling between on or off. So basically, is the daylight saving time mode in my secondary time zone turned on or off? I can set by pressing this button. Let's say I want to turn it on. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to press the mode button over here and we move on to setting our hour value. I can shuffle that value by pressing the lap or start button over here to some dedicated time in that time zone. Once I've set my hour value, I'm going to press the mode button and the flashing moves on to minutes. I can decrease the minutes value by pressing the lap reset button or increase by pressing the start stop button. I'm gonna leave it at 20 o'clock and 20 minutes. To implement the settings, simply press the adjust button once, and now we have our secondary time zone set. Thank you very much for watching yet another review and detailed tutorial video on my channel. If you are into watch related content, please subscribe. So thank you.